Welcome to the Smokin Word. Welcome to the Smokin Word. Welcome to the Smokin Word.
Yo, what up? You like that double glitch? But what up, everybody? Welcome to the Smokin Word podcast. Shout out to everybody who's been tapping in. We've been on a roll. It's been about upstate the last couple of episodes, and we're going to keep it northeast with this as we keep going. But before we get into that, shout out to everybody again who's been listening. You got to subscribe. You got to like it. You got to pass it around. Just listening ain't enough. And CasaDeRock.com for everything Hoya Rock. And shout out to Ramona. Shout out to Black Iris Bookings. Shout out to Detroit, because Detroit Black Christmas will be where Smoke AD, my new band, will be popping its cherry. So shout out to everybody. What better place? If it ain't New York, you already know the deal. Detroit's next best. It ain't, New York, LA, Detroit, Boston, you can kind of pick. It could be either one. So I'm psyched about that. But like we said, keeping it upstate. And also, it's a very important month to start. I want to make sure that the word gets out on what's happening next month with. Shout out to my brother, Mike Valente, and who's going to be on this. But he's caught up, I think, catching bad guys or whatever he's doing. But the Extreme Heavy Music Awards show. And, if you don't know about it, that's what we've been pushing this whole time. We want everybody to tap into Northeast. It's all about heavy music and basically finally giving everybody these accolades in the heavy music world. And my brother has something to do with it. Hold up. Jeff's in the room. Let him in. Get Jeff in the room. Yo, what's up? Like I was saying, welcome to the squad. Welcome to the quadsome. I don't know what you call it, a foursome. Walter.
Yeah. What's up?
The Tris plus one.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Mike Valente. Since you're in the room, everybody, let's welcome everybody. The boys, the Fade Lines. Come on, upstate, northeast. Where you guys represent officially, because I know it's some or was. I know it was some northeast, New York and Massachusetts. Or what's the deal? Because there's that border. As much as we hate each other in baseball.
Exactly.
Borders, and even with Connecticut, I call it Hatebreed. I told my boy them Hatebreed. That's New York City North. You know what I mean? That's North New York City. Where you guys consider yourself, what you guys represent besides everybody,
Yeah.
Yes, you, Jeff.
I guess I'll start with that one.
Yeah.
I started the band about 5.5 years ago, and I live in Western Mass, Pittsfield, but we've always been part of Albany. We're right on the border. I could throw a rock over the New York border from here. Yeah. Like you said, with Connecticut years ago, we always hung out with the boys in Connecticut and stuff. So we're kind of where we are. We're kind of one big happy family with New York and Connecticut.
Yeah, and that's dope. And even with the Mass, because even that area, what is it about that Western Mass? I don't, I got my GD, so right now I can't picture the map of New York and all that. But there's always been that closer connection to New York. Sure, a border, but specifically Western Mass, because not only that we look at Boston, Massachusetts was always great for New York hardcore, no matter what. But that area, Pearl Streets, all those type of areas, Western Mass. Look at Zeus is out there.
Oh yeah,
that's also Yankee territory in a weird way.
Yeah,
for Mass. But that's why it's a bugged out area, but it always had great music.
Yes.
Because the connection with Mass and whatever. So you say you started it 5 years ago.
Yeah, about 5.5 years ago, I started it. I took a little break from the scene for a bit to do the family thing. And my buddies were still, rocking it. So got back into it. And we went through a couple different members, but that's all history now. Now we got the greatest lineup we've had.
That's what I was just about to go into, because I saw that you guys had different, a different lineup, because also I know, Walter's family, and now he's playing with you guys. And then also looking at videos and stuff, I was seeing you know, that, and also the sound, also the evolution of the sound. And also Valente talked a lot about you guys. So
yeah, Valenti's the reason why Vegas is on the scene here. Well, actually, he is the reason why.
So let us know. And Vegas, where you from?
I'm from upstate Albany area.
Albany, because when you hear Vegas, I was thinking these motherfuckers are from Vegas. How Walter's playing with him, or his name is just Vegas, you know? So, oh, I'm like North Dakota Danny or whatever. I thought you were Vegas, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, when I was a kid, the older kids were like, "Yo, you like to take chances, man. Your name's Vegas. That's it."
That's dope. That's dope.
So, yeah.
Good shit. And so how did you link up with them, and how far into it? Because you had a couple different lineups, you said. And when did this lineup come? Like this final lineup?
Was it 2022, maybe?
Yeah, the last couple.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And Vegas, where were you in this whole thing when this came up? Like he's mentioning Valente brought that up. How did you get down with this?
Yeah, so I was in a band before that called the Clay People. It wasn't hardcore, it was more industrial metal kind of thing. And then COVID messed everything up, and I kind of was like, hey, I'm actually home with the family. I've been doing music like you know, grinding, yeah. And I liked being home. And I was good with it. And then Valenti called me one day. He's like, oh, I think I got a band for you if you're interested. And I was like, you know, I'll go check it out. See, what do I got to lose? And I definitely liked where the sound was going. So I jumped on it, and, you know, here I am.
Yeah. And then how the hell you found this guy up there?
Monsta. Oh, yeah. So me and Monsta go way back.
Everybody finds them. You'll find them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find Joy. You'll find them somewhere. But I'm saying, where did you guys find them?
Well, and it's funny because me and Monsta, Jesus, we go back, bro, you know, forever. And you would have seen me, Hoya, coming around, but I decided I wanted to raise my daughter and be home. And, you know, exactly. So family, you know, she's grown now, so I'm back. But me and Monsta were always like, yo, we got to do something together. Well, you know, what are we gonna do? And then he moves, and I'm home over here. And then he came to one of our shows. Was it the DRI? No, not the DRI show.
It was for our CD.
I think it was with Murphy's Law.
Slapshot show.
Oh yeah.
And then Monsta was like, yo, man, I'm just saying, if you need a drummer. And our drummer at the time was just saying, like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So it was perfect.
And you know, it's crazy how things work with drummers in that kind of way. When you get lucky, sometimes it lines up like that. It happened with us in the past with Mikey J, who's with Madball now. Like we were about, I forgot what was the deal, but I overheard him speaking on the phone to somebody, and he was like, yeah, after this tour, I think I'm done with music. And I was like, we were looking for a drummer. He goes, yeah, you know, I don't know. This is, and I was like, and then I acted like, hey, what's up? So what are you doing? You know, like, what are you doing around? But it literally lined up like that. And it specifically with a drummer thing. And you're lucky, Jeff, you know that, because drummers are hard, you know, like why, like Walter gets a lot of, you know, could get a lot of play because there's not a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that could claim they play, but to be able to really play and tour and be able to deal with being a drummer, you know, because there's a lot, you know what I mean? There's a lot to do with it.
Not too many Walters out there, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. I've seen sides of him nobody's seen. I don't want. Listen, Walter. So what's up? What I know you always like that. You've always been like, you throw it out there, like, yo, I'm down to play or whatever. But you throw it out there. Now they hit you back, like, okay, what's up? Now what? You're like, all right, let me jump on this because, you know, now, you know, you also had a bunch of. When did the Murphy's Law thing come up? When did this come up? And
everything.
And I know also you do stuff.
Everything kind of happened quick, bro.
What made it say, like, okay, no, I'm gonna really do this shit with them?
Yeah, I mean, from that show that I saw them, I was like, yo, you guys are really good, man. Like, you guys are like kind of my style of hardcore. Like, I want to, you know, if you guys ever need a drummer, like, let me know. What's up? I like your stuff. And I think, you know, this is more like my style. I think we could write together and do this and that. And I had probably just gotten into Murphy's Law like maybe a month or two before that. Mm-hmm. And at the time we weren't really doing much. But then I started writing a new record in Murphy's Law. So I didn't want to write a new record in 3 bands at the same exact time.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I had to like make other people wait and do this and that because I wanted to give 100% in each band.
Yeah.
And we had just finished the Murderers Row record, so that's going to be dropping in a while. But Murphy's Law, I got a couple more songs to write with Brendan, and then after that, like we're going to start. Fade Line's going to start writing a whole bunch of new stuff. We got a bunch of stuff already in the works, kind of. So looking forward to that because I get to like.
And who's writing? And who's writing on this? Because you got new guys in the band. Obviously, the sound changed. Also, did the sound change again with these guys, or they're holding on to something similar that you were working on before they came in and just adding their shit to it?
So we're kind of scratching the surface on that, you know. I've been like mostly the main writer since the inception of the band. Vegas came in on this last EP we did and definitely changed the sound for the better. And we kind of molded my style with his. And I'm hoping that we're going to do the same thing with Monsta. We've already started to do some things together, him and I on the side. And I'm really looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to stick.
What was it, the difference now, the sound, you think? Obviously, everybody evolves. What's the difference now sonically, you think, that you guys have that you didn't have before?
I think it's a little bit more on the technical side, I guess. And then the vocals are actually what I set out when I started this band to have. And Vegas is I call it audible. You know, he has a growl to him. He can scream. I mean, he's got songs, but you can understand what he's saying. And I think that a lot of more people can relate to that. It makes the music a little more palatable, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then all right, with this, because obviously the sound changed. Also, it changed, but not like crazy, but you could tell an evolution, but still there's definitely a difference in the older stuff. It definitely is more, you can hear the heaviness is more technical, is more on the crossover, the thrash kind of. That's the thing that I hear a lot with you guys, and I use that word correctly. It ain't that I don't hate on new metal, I don't hate on death metal, I don't hate on black metal, I don't hate on none of that shit. But thrash metal is a certain thing, and there's certain elements to it, and I hear that. That's kind of where I come up. The metal I came up with was the thrash side of metal with the hardcore, either some people chose more, 60-40 punk, hardcore to the metal, or vice versa. I was more towards the metal side.
Yeah.
So as sound progressed and whatever, you know how that shit goes. Yep. Was that the intent? Because that's another thing with being older guys. I think, you learn how to play a little bit better. Now you could play the shit that you couldn't play earlier. And now you're like, fuck, wow, I could keep up. Let me try this shit.
Yeah. I love finding new things, even at 51, man.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing with me. Vegas now. So did you know what you knew about them when they brought it up? So Mike Valente brought it up. You heard it. Then you were like, how far off were, because you said you were in a totally different type of band, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you still must have been, you were familiar with heavy music, blah, blah, blah. When this came up, what made you say, fuck it, I'm going to go for it? Like, I want to do this.
I'll be honest with you. So the industrial metal thing that I was in, that band had been signed to Mercury Records in the past, and they broke up and then they got back together. But they had an original singer. He's the one that brought me in as the second singer. Like, didn't have security getting back into the scene.
Yeah.
Well, once we started rolling, he realized, like, I'm not sharing the spotlight with this dude. And that what do I want to say? Like that radio rock attitude kind of style. I can't be in a band, and I can't waste any more of my time going through egos and drama. I can't do it. And that was the thing about and when I went to see these guys, I hadn't heard Faded Line.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear any music except for going into a room with them and listening to them play. And that's when I got the vibe. And then I I had to hang around them a little bit to see no attitudes, no drama. I mean, I could be a jerk off. I'm, you know, I if someone gives me attitude, I'm going to give you 5 times the amount. Of but I don't want it around my family, and I don't want to interrupt my family life with drama. So these guys and sealing the deal with Monsta. I mean, Jeff, Monsta, Carlo, and Mike, the other guy. We just laugh and we have a good time. And
that's the main shit. No, that's the main shit. How Walter, you guys got to practice a lot. How often you rehearse, or how many times you make it happen? Once in a while.
Yeah, usually like once a week at least.
Oh, that's great. Oh, you guys are like a real band.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I forgot what that is to like rehearse like shit. Like, I'm like, wow, you guys are like a real band. Like, you know, that's great because again, it's different when you're on the younger side because nobody got no responsibility. So it's easy to be like, yeah, to make once a week is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, believe me, it's how it should be minimum. When you do this, even as a hobby, like it's like working out. You want to stay sharp, or while you're doing it, I want to sound good. Even if you're in the room, I wanted to sound good in the room. Then that means we got to constantly play it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, if I want to lift this weight the right way, nobody's looking at me. It's for yourself, But that's kind of the whole thing. It's like it's a good thing about that. Now let me ask you this: how many shows, Jeff? Did you guys play out a lot? Because like everybody seems like you guys, again, I keep saying older. I just say because I know you guys family guys already. Couple took breaks from that, and also like with Walter, not so much family, but he has his dips up and down with life, figuring out life, getting work, back to music, back and forth.
Right. So we Faded Line, the history of Faded Line. I mean, we played quite a bit. I mean, we had you know how you ride that wave sometimes, you got 2-3 shows a month. I mean, we're not compared to a Madball type thing.
No. But yeah, fuck them. I know what you mean. Totally. Active, being active.
We played down in New York City. We made friends with them in another band, Silence Equals Death, out of New Jersey. And we hooked up with those guys, made lots of friends. And we started playing around New Jersey, New York, played some festivals in Pennsylvania. Well, anyways, yeah, we played quite a bit. I think for a bunch of working guys, I think we do pretty well.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's hard to.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And what's the deal with you other guys as far as obviously nobody's trying to say like, yeah, we're gonna go live on the road 11 months out of the year kind of shit.
Right.
Everybody's able to make these weekends and longer weekends happen if they're worthwhile, right? With you guys, right? Yeah. You guys seem to be active the way you guys are, be like, man, you might as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like being rehearsing, you got material out working, you got, you know what I mean? Like, and all that. So it's definitely worth, making it happen when you put
it's definitely a challenge. Like, we talked about writing new material and you touched on it too. Like going to like that analogy you made about going to the gym. When we get together, we got to run through our set. We got a show coming up this weekend. So we want to get together and write music, but we also got to keep our set tight. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like trying to find time. You almost have to like take a break from shows, but you know how it is. It's a grind. Yeah. You can't say no when the phone rings. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. So,
how do you balance that?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? It's the band thing that's hard to get more than one person on the same page at the same time, even though you want the same thing, because you know what the fact is with anything, it means you got to do less of something else.
Yeah.
That's all it means. No matter what, like people like, yo, I got like with the gym again. I got the work. I got this. I got that. All right. But you're on your phone maybe in a half hour and you watch fucking 5 episodes of Evil Dead or whatever, Walking Dead. Okay, motherfucker. Do less of that. No, I'm just saying with anything. Because one thing I do take and Walter knows my music, that's my everything. Like music got me everything. But I also, that's where I hang my dick on. But like when I'm meaning that's everything. Like, I joke around or whatever, but I take pride on being like, yo, like I really beat the shit out of my music to when you hear something, it's been demolished by me mentally, verbally, like this shit sucks. This is why, and I really, because I want something to not only represent me good, but like, yo, where we come from, like we all hold the flag in this shit. I'm like, yo, I don't want people to be like it's from some other scene, be like, oh, that's some whack. Like, whack shit. That band sounds whack. How long they been around? I'm like, nah, fuck that. I gotta, you gotta set the bar kind of shit. So I love when people take the music seriously because I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Even when it's a hobby, like it seems like with you, again, to make things happen, well, all you guys to make things happen this far, later, when guys have families and stuff, it takes dedication because you really got to take away, from a
lot of people in like that are not in bands, they have this, they presume we're a specific way, whatever. But being a musician in a band, you sacrifice a lot of stuff to be in a band with all these guys. And, some people give up school, some people give up, good jobs, some people give up good girls or girlfriends or whatever, or, give up where they live or whatever the case, because you're just about it.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that. That's, I mean, how many times I moved across the country. I'm done now. I'm never leaving New York again. But for me to say that and everybody listening goes, yeah, right, buddy, you'll be in Cali in 2 more years. But I'm seriously like, I'm not going anywhere, man. And
let me ask you this, because I know kind of Walters, but I'll ask it anyway. Did you? I never asked this to people. Did you always want to be in a band?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Oh, all you guys. Wow. All right. Wow, that's great. And when I didn't, not that I didn't. I got in a band because I was talking shit about other bands. Like I said, yo, that shit sucks. Anybody could do that. And then they were like, okay, then why don't we start a band? I was like, all right. And I said bass. My brother, rest in peace, he always wanted to play bass. So I said, it must be cool.
Oh, wow.
Fuck it, I'll play bass.
I
love the music, but I really, that's why I really don't know how to play other people's music. Like, shout out to Beto. Beto out there knows the deal. Like, he got his guitar 2 weeks after I got my bass. So the first thing we did was, before we learned songs, was like, yo, we got to write songs, because we said we're going to start a band. So, okay, now and we stood in front of each other for months before we figured it out. But for me, it was a little different. So, but for all you guys, you all wanted to be in band since young, huh?
Yeah. I mean, my mom's got pictures of me. My mom's got pictures of me when I was in diapers, like playing with my dad's drumsticks, beating on the furniture.
And drums already from little.
Yeah.
Jeff, what's up with you?
Yeah, I was like the rest of us. I was like come up on like the Black Sabbath, the Iron Maiden, and I was listening to freaking metal when I was in 4th grade. I thought I was crazy, jumping in the bedroom, smashing shit. But it's funny you say that about not playing other people's music. I've never been a cover song guy. Like I didn't spend a lot of time learning other music. I mean, bits and pieces of bands that I loved, like Slayer and other bands mentioned. But I've always been into write my own stuff.
That's great.
Always concentrated on that.
Vegas, what's up? And you?
So my grandparents were professional musicians. My grandmother was an opera singer on Broadway. My grandfather was a pianist on Broadway. And so I grew up like ever since I can remember. I did play the drums for a little bit, but I was always singing. I always wanted to be a singer. And but I lived in a small farm town, literally 2 stoplights to this day in that town. Wow. It's crazy. So I didn't have the reach, and we didn't have the internet or anything. So I had to seek this stuff out. And I always knew, like, my father was a nut. I was never, my home life was crazy. So I was in the streets, if you will. I was street smart, but kind of farm town street smart.
Yeah.
And then when I was able to get out of there and come down towards Albany, I had already been in bands, high school bands and all that stuff. But then I started, like, my first band was opening for Madball and Biohazard, the OG Biohazards in the early 90s. And, I worked at Saratoga Winters. I lied about my age to get hired there. So, I had been there for forever. And that was my rehearsal spot. And me and Valeni had a band forever called the Bruise Brothers. And that
shit. I remember the name.
Bruise
I remember
Brothers,
because that's a great fucking name, right?
Right? It was hardcore and like swing music mixed together. So we had a cool vibe going.
Of course, Valeni swing music. That's the first thing I think of.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had the idea, and he kept saying, "Yo, I want to do something." And it actually was the guitar player for Murderers Row that was going to be the OG, but he's not. I love him, but he's nuts. And then Valeni was like, "I want to do it. So we got together, and it was just totally different. Totally like.
All right. So, Jeff, up there, what was your club? What was the club coming up as a kid? Like, that's the club you saw most of your shows at.
The Saratoga Winners and the QE2 in Albany.
QE2, right? And
Yeah.
Vegas, same thing probably for you, right? Saratoga.
Yeah.
Saratoga Winners, QE2. I worked.
Yeah, because for Walters everywhere. I know be from some spots in Cali, Berkeley, some spots. No, but the Saratoga was dope. We had some great early shows there early on. But something about always Albany, Troy, fucking that area always had it, ups and downs, but always had a fucking solid. It was just I hate saying a second home everywhere because it was almost like another room for us back then.
Oh my God.
And a second home. It was like, you kidding me? We were literally in the middle of the biggest snowstorms. We weren't gonna miss an Albany show. For us, it was like, no, are you kidding me? Like we probably played Albany, fucking and Vermont more than anybody. I swear, as early days, it would be always, and that was like the QE2, and then Bogies, and then the Saratoga, like you name it, we would make it. But the music was always around it. I guess great location that you're away, but close, but it's a good pit stop in between areas,
Absolutely.
And it's like,
you remember Teddy Tall?
Yeah, of course. Teddy Tall was the one. He's the one who brought us. He been the one who put us on out there. What's up with him?
He's still doing it. He's still doing
it. Were you at the show the last time we played up there? And we played with Life for Agony.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I missed that one.
Yeah, no. You weren't.
Or no?
We played. I don't know. We played some big club. It was Life for Agony, Madball. I forgot.
That was not Northern.
Yes.
Concert Hall. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay. No,
I was stage left for you guys, man.
Yeah. Like I said, there was always something that the Saratogas would have the big show where the hardcore band would be, get the good slot with the whoever is coming through. Same thing with like how we used to have in what's the place they closed down in fucking across from Newburgh. What's that? That's the fucking. Oh, damn! I forgot. Anyway,
the Chase. No,
the Chase. The Chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like there's certain pit stops that on the, on your route. Oh, you gotta hit it. But that helps with the bands, and that's why you have, especially in the area you guys are. It always produced a mix of. You always had thrash. You had punk. And hardcore, New York hardcore from the city, specifically the mix, because it was always that, again, wartime manner back then. There was always a heavier influence, but they were all hardcore kids.
Troy Court is a real thing, and it's a legendary. It's awesome.
And Jeff, when you started, right? You started this band, right? Obviously, you were in it since a kid. Now you're a little older. You started the band 5 years, so you're starting it with grown man style, like, okay, kind of like, maybe what you wanted to do and never got to do, and maybe let me try this new style out. When you started the band now, what did you want the band to kind of sound like? Well, everybody, when I would always be like, I want to do something like in between the Cro-Mags, Slayer, and fucking this or whatever. Everybody has their kind of fantasy ingredients.
I actually didn't really have a formula as far as that goes, but after I guess I could say kind of like whatever sounds good to me, and then afterwards I would listen to it and go, okay, I can hear some of my influences in there, like the Crowbar and Agnostic Front, and it all kinds of different elements, because our music we have a little death metal in it, we got hardcore in it, we got metal in it. It's like a little mix of everything that's like rolling around in my head, That's pretty much what happened.
How much shit you had to learn did you have to learn a lot of stuff, or you just kind of what they're playing?
They
Kinda like,
gave me a
yeah.
demo, and I just rocked that. And then they wanted to do a cover song, so I learned that.
What was the cover?
It's Punishment from Biohazard.
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. I think I did that too. I had to learn that shit, by the way. Yeah. Well, at the Milwaukee Metal Fest, I was like, "Yo, pick the easiest one, yo." I said, I played two strings. Listen,
Yeah.
yeah. Jason asked me for the jam. Everybody, make sure everybody listening, go to Albany. We're gonna get into that very soon, but the Extreme Music Award Show happening in Albany. There's gonna be an ill jam session with everybody from 1,000 different bands playing all covers. But they all asked me if I was down to jam, and I said yes. One condition: no Rush songs. Listen, I play two strings, one finger.
Yeah.
Don't kill me, guys. But that the extreme the award show. What do you guys think about that? That's some really cool shit, right?
It's awesome.
100%.
You know, like especially like one Valente for what he does for music, but for the Northeast, your guys' area, it brings a lot of shine because again, a lot of shout out to Upstate Records also, bringing a lot of attention. Valente, that and the bands playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the deal with shows with you guys, Jeff? What's the deal? What's the battle plan as far as now? Because the year's over now. 1 month.
Right.
That's
yeah.
it.
So we're playing out in the Boston area this weekend on Saturday, which it's been very difficult for us to do anything in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Weird.
East of, like you said, Northampton. We're part of New York. You know what I mean? We've always,
of course.
We want to, like everyone else, we want to spread out the other territories. So we're playing out in Boston this weekend, and then we have the pre-party show though with you guys.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
That's pretty much all we have right now, and we really want to start writing music.
Yeah, we need to write. So that's
we're willing to go.
And what's up with you guys up there for the pre-party? I'm amped about it. Look at that. My first show's in December, but this is our first East Coast show. This is our first show with family. You know what I mean? So I'm amped about it. So to me, it's one. Again, the last time I was in a band was 30 years ago. A brand new band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's crazy. Like almost like young style. Like, yo, my first show is in December. Like, oh, I can't believe it. Wow, we pulling the Band-Aid. Wow, Albany. That's gonna be our first East Coast show. Even to say that is crazy.
Yeah.
For me, so I'm having a good time with it. I'm amped because I'm psyched for the show.
I put Smoke AD on. I don't get excited much anymore. I mean, but man, I cannot wait to play the show with you guys.
Thank you. The same thing. Thank you. The same thing with the style. Like again, so I could have you guys hear it's a more metallic style. Again, I think our era of guys. And again, I keep saying this, but I want to disclaim. I'm not saying like we old guys. We ripe. We ready to be picked and eaten. But our era of guys. There was it leaned two ways. You were either very punk heavy or on the crossover side of things. Obviously, everybody on this screen is from the side I have a feeling.
100%.
Of course, we all love the war zone. Of course, we all that. But I mean, we also Slayer. You have the Exodus. We have the Chromac. You have the Crumb Suckers. You have your whatever exactly death or whatever that listen. People forget this. I want everybody out there in hardcore land to know one thing. And I'm not a hardcore, I hate saying old school because my first shit was like an 88, which is old, but I'm not Vinny Stigma old. This is one thing I want people to know, especially for New York hardcore. 9 out of 10 bands, they were metalheads that said, yo, they found this next thing. We all grow up with the classic rock first, or radio maybe, you know what I mean? Or then you get, when you dig in, what's going on? And hey, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's kind of an evolution that naturally happens. What happens to all skinheads? They become bikers. It is what it is. Right? You guys are young, you were a metalhead, then if you became a skin or punk, and then you became a skin, and if you became a skin, then when you're older, you grew out and you became a biker. there's certain things that went, and our generation that leaned towards, you had the crossover side, then you had the more punk side.
Yep.
Yeah. And what I was saying is now with that side, even with like how the bills are like a bill like that, you have a lot of guys that have been around the scene like us, you know, we're real hardcore kids, real hardcore people. But the sound changed. You know, you know what I mean? And there's no problem with it. That's what I like. Back in the day, our bands couldn't exist without people talking a lot of shit on it. You know, as far as being more on the metallic side.
Yeah.
You know, like being extra heavy. I think Jeff froze up there, right?
I did.
Oh yeah, you're there for a bit. Look for a minute, and then that's the thing that now that I like that we could be on the heavier side of things. You know what I mean? But we all represent the hardcore scene. You know, when you say what are the shows we came out of it, playing punk, hardcore shows, metal shows, crossover. But it's crazy the evolution of the sound. You know what I mean? On the next stuff that you're doing now, you got Vegas with some industrial flavor. You see, Walter got a thrash crossover. You know, he got a Bay Area style to his shit. Now you're writing more heavy, you know, again, crossover type stuff. Are you trying to push it any other way? Like while you're at it, like, hey, you know, let's try something a little more this or a little that, or you just not even thinking about it and just like, yo, let's crank out tunes. Because I tend to sometimes make a blueprint of like, you know what, I want to try to do this type of song. And, you know, I sometimes come out with like a light blueprint, but not everybody works like that. Like any plans for you? What's the sound? What you working on?
I definitely think of a blueprint style for it. I always want to try to write things that are different. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like anybody else. I want to sound like us. And now I have more elements to work with, like you said, Monsta style, style. That all comes into play. So that's my main focus, is to try to write stuff that nobody's doing.
But and it's the right thing to take advantage of guys with those influences. That's what I was wondering. Because sometimes, you know, you bring guys in that come in from other flavors, but you might not use them for that. You might say, no, I want to keep it to what it was or something. You know what I mean? Everybody's on a different thing. Like I'm on this. Let's try to push it now. Fuck it. You know what I mean? You know, that's the freedom of when you're trying to establish yourself. You know, nobody really knows what you are. So you can do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? When people say, no, you're an established band, that's when you're like, all right, that means you got me associated with a certain sound. That's all that means.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't want that till I figure it out. And even then, what I've been around music, I don't want to be in this. I want to be in this box now. Like, you know what I mean? I want to have fun with it. Like, I want to do whatever the fuck I want with it, you know?
Exactly. You want to appeal to the masses, right?
Yeah,
but you got to like yourself, and hopefully what we like, everyone else does.
Yeah, exactly. So and I'm amped to be playing that show with you guys. And what's the deal with people being able to get your merch? You know, all that. The website, the web pages? Who does all that? Who handles all that business? Because I mean, I was gonna say, I know how it gets. It definitely ain't Walter. It ain't me. I don't want to try Walter or anything like too responsible, but I can showing up and hanging out.
Yeah, I'm handling the websites and stuff, but we got to start a new Instagram page. They had one before I got in, and they don't. Not a lot of tech savvy stuff, including me. But you know, we just like to. You post, and the merch right now you can get it at the live shows. We don't have a merch store set up, but we will. There you go. There's one of the new ones. Monsta came up with that logo,
and you're gonna have stuff. And then what's up with the label, and what's up with the release? What you want to do? What you're doing next?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing next yet?
Not really.
Not officially yet.
It's kind of fun because even with the smaller labels, I still see a lot, especially these days. Everybody's very you gotta be.
Well, my guard dog.
Yeah, you gotta be. you got to watch what you say. Maybe you got to tread lightly.
Yeah.
I don't like to be confined in a box, and neither do these guys. So, in a way, the freedom is kind of great, but it's also good to have somebody to be able to put up some money and
Yeah, absolutely.
get you out there. So,
Yeah.
we're
That's
working
the
on
plan,
that.
Jeff. You're planning to just maybe try to work some music and then see if something pops up of putting it out and that type of shit.
Yeah, man, that's usually what happens every time, and
Yeah.
hopefully this time around maybe something will pop up for us. You know.
Yeah. And as of now, where you be doing your recordings up there?
So we did the last one with help
Jay
me out.
Bordeaux. Jay Bordeaux.
Who had worked with Brick by Brick, and he was in Stigmata back in the day. He did a great job with our last one. I was talking to Joey Z a little bit. I played with Life of Agony a few times last year, so that's always an option too. You know, we're kind of shopping around.
Yeah, that's good. No, for sure, that's good. That's good. Everybody that keep, that's the main shit is just putting out the music. You know how that shit is. Over more the days of really, of course, a label's important, but people want to see your music. You could put that shit on your Instagram. The people are gonna see it. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta, we gotta depend on the people to make sure that shit really happens.
Yeah.
Until no, what I'm saying basically is good that you guys are working while you're still looking. It's not like, again, it shows that you guys are serious and you really want to put out this music. You know what I mean? And that's dope because
we have to, man.
Yeah, I mean,
it is.
And Walter, what's the deal with you? I know you're playing with these guys. They're gonna be playing. I'm gonna be seeing you next month. But what's up with the other band and everything?
Murderers Row. We just put out a new record. It's going to be going into production soon. We got to still do the final mix, and then all the guys are doing great. Riley and everybody, Leo and Chris.
Hold on, real quick. I was about to say so who's in Murderers Row? Leo.
So we got Leo on guitar still. We got Chris on bass.
Leo, Biohazard, Leo.
Yep.
Shout out to my man. I mean, once in a while I always say, well, so that was my man. Good dude, man. I actually we're gonna talk because I want to get you guys on for sure.
Oh, cool. That'd be great.
Yeah, you know about that.
And Riley, of course, and Chris is Chris, our bass player. This guy is just unbelievable, dude. I mean, he writes all the great music, and he's got amazing lyrics. He can sing really well. He's just a great songwriter, just a great guy. Everybody in the band's just real cool. We're in a good vibe right now.
Yeah.
And then in Murphy's Law,
up there.
Jimmy and obviously and my man Brendan, who was filling in or whatever, with Madball every now and then on bass. He's been writing all the music and with me, and he's just ripping, man. He's been playing it on guitar, recording it on guitar, and then playing the bass too. The new Murphy's Law stuff is coming along really well, man, and Jimmy's just acclimating to it so well. And this is going to be probably the heaviest, more New York hardcore styling sounding Murphy's Law record ever.
There you go. There you go. Busy man. He's always he's always on working on something new. But it's good that you're there. You're somewhere. You're somewhere where you guys are jamming a lot. That's the shit I love. Like being able to get together on a regular and jamming because nothing beats the vibe, and the music only wins. From that shit, hands down. But listen, I'm glad to catch you guys on this. Again, let everybody know the Instagram, Jeff, your Instagram, or where to fucking find you guys and to make sure they fucking buy your shit.
Right, yeah. Faded Line 2020 _ 2020 is our Instagram, and Faded Line just Facebook page. You can find us there. You can message us. You can buy tickets to shows.
Boom, that's important. Exactly.
Just shoot the shit, whatever you want. The show.
Go ahead. No, go finish up. I'm sorry.
That's all right, man. I'm good.
No, good shit. No, everybody make sure Vegas, where everybody could catch you and keep up to date with you and the band.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's your email, your Instagram, your handles?
If anyone needs to reach out, vegasvocals@gmail.com, IG at Vegas Vocals, Faded Line Vegas Nacy, NACY. And we have all the Venmo and Cash App set up, so I'll we'll send out merch if somebody wants to buy it in another state or country. Maybe.
Very important, everybody. Get that merch.
Yeah,
Please get the merch.
Mhm.
That's how we live.
Yes, exactly. That makes these rehearsals happen and make all these things happen so you guys get quality stuff, because I know you guys too. We don't like putting out bullshit. You know, if we're gonna put something out with our name on it, got to be quality stuff. Walter, let everybody know what's the deal, where to find you right now besides Tinder and Grinder.
Bro, why you blow up my spot?
I just do.
No, yo, you can hit me up on Instagram. It's MONSTA #1 DMS Monsta 1 DMS at what is it? Fucking Instagram or whatever. And then on Facebook, it's Walter Monsta Ryan, and you'll see tons of videos and pictures of all these knuckleheads. We're playing shows together, and I'm looking forward to playing that show too. That's going to be a good one. That's January 10th at Empire Live in Albany, New York.
There you go. That's what I wanted you to.
It's the pre-show, pre-party for the the Extreme Music Awards, which is on the 11th, and it's going to be a fun time. There's going to be a lot of good people there, a lot of great musicians,
and everybody on the screen will be there partying. Listen, we're celebrating a lot of new music, a lot of old music, but we're all celebrating the music that we love and giving it the celebration that it deserves. And I'm excited. It's good. I'm glad you playing, Walter, with them, and I'm glad that I'll be seeing you when I'm playing my first East Coast show.
Yeah, bro.
So listen, and I'm glad to be doing it with you guys. You know, again, you guys showed my band love, my old band love. So it's good to be, back in the trenches. We always were in the trenches, but we here now. So, but everybody, hang on when we sign off. But everybody, make sure you catch them out there and catch us all at the Extreme Music, at the Extreme Heavy Music Awards show in Albany. What's the date? One more time, Walter.
January 10th.
The pre-party. The rest of the days is dope, but get to that pre-party. All right, hang on, fellas. Yo, we out of here.
Peace. Thank you.